Okay, well, hello everybody. Good afternoon and welcome to your English language teaching and learning channel. And thank you very much for joining me today. I have a couple of colleagues and friends here. So let's begin with a very short introduction. Please introduce yourselves, gentlemen. Who would like to be first?
All of us.
Hello,
All of us.
everybody.
At the same time, please.
I would like to volunteer Patricio.
Okay, as usual
Me too.
during classes. All right, hello. Well, my name is Patricio, and I've been working in Tisana like for 12 years now, so as an English teacher. So I'm really pleased to be here sharing with you guys, and I hope we can meet together soon and get together soon and then share a little bit more experience about our lives during this quarantine as well.
Perfect, Patrick. Thank you very much. I saw a little ghost there
A
behind
little
you.
part of me.
Yeah, a
Oh,
little part of you. Look
Trying
at
to
him.
compete, CSS.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
What's
man?
that? Is
Okay,
one of your
so,
students you brought him home?
Yeah, my constant pupil.
Okay.
So I'm Hartman. He's my son here. We're home alone. So I hope you understand what that means, giving you this time, instead of doing some other crazy stuff.
Well, it's very
Yeah.
valuable. Thank you very much.
I've been a teacher for so many years now. I don't even know. I didn't keep count. 18 probably.
Mhm.
18 on going on 19 about. I discovered it just, I didn't plan to do this, it just came. Yeah. And I'm so glad it came because apparently I like it. I think I'm doing a good job. I don't know what the students would say.
Okay. All right, perfect. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, who'd be the next brave guy to?
The master.
Okay, go ahead, master.
All right, Santi, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Master Chuck.
Oh man, I'm Chuck. I'm the founding father of Chuckadelphia. And I was a lost soul before Santi pulled me out of the dreck of New Jersey and invited me down to Ecuador. Before I started at Fulbright, I was a jack of all trades. I just had a bunch of like temp jobs. Didn't really know what I wanted to do in this world. And I mean, in some aspects, I still don't know. But what I do know is that I am an English instructor, tutor, whatever you want to call it. I love what I do. I love helping people communicate in another language, and I love helping people achieve their goals and dreams in English. And I love the language, and I love communicating and entertaining and exchanging knowledge with people. So, and I've been very blessed to have been able to come to that realization that that's what I was put on this planet to do.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much. Truxito, it says here, right? All right, good. And,
I like his better. Can I do this again? I think I'm going to copy a few of the things he said.
Yeah,
you're right,
it's
man.
complicated going after him after such a long and nice and inspiration process. It's,
Right.
it's like
That's
very
philosophical
complicated.
view.
Yeah, I think,
yeah.
he couldn't sleep. He all prepared the last night.
This paper
There
said.
you go.
No.
He's got a cheat sheet right there.
Yeah, well.
I'm going to take notes myself.
Go ahead, Joe.
Well, it's complicated but interesting at the same time. I'm Jose Ignacio. I've been teaching at about, I don't know, like 15 years, 16 years so far, and I'm pretty happy to do what I'm doing because early on I used to do something completely different out of teaching and working with people, and I think that is quite rewarding to help others, as Chuck has mentioned. As a matter of fact, not just because he's here, but he knows already. He was my teacher at some point at Fulbright, and I felt very enthusiastic about going over this job. Let's call it a job, because of his inspiration and the way that he used to get in touch with students and motivate students. So I felt that was the path, and that was the idea, and that's what I'm teaching also. Okay, it's not just a matter of surviving here. It's a matter of helping others, and I think that is a pretty rewarding process of teaching and helping others to communicate as to transmission. And just to let you know that you inspire a lot of people, and that's why we are keep on in this process. Doesn't?
Thank you.
Mhm.
Wow.
Wow. You see what you've done, Chuck?
Yeah.
You see what you've done? God.
I'm not just a jerk, as you say, Santi.
No, you're one of the good jerks.
But thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, very nice work.
I knew him when he was just Ignacio, but now he's Jose Ignacio. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
No, but at that time I was Ignacio as well, but I don't know. They just call me Ignacio sometimes or Jose. But at that time, when I started going to Fulbright, it was like a year or 2 years after starting working as an English teacher. And I was a little bit scared, like going over this process and everything. But I remember that the environment that Fulbright created at that time for the students, it was very pushy, but it was welcoming. You know, the students, they felt very welcome and encouraged to keep on going over the process of learning because of different reasons, professional stuff, personal stuff, I don't know, different things, but it was very, very interesting. So anyways, let's move on.
okay, well, thank you very much. Very good. That we had two philosophical introductions. Here's Chuckcito and then Joe. My goodness. So listen, Hardman and Patricio, let's go to
break a room.
break a room on our
Break a
own here.
room.
And leave the philosophers here. But anyway, this is the reason I invited you guys. It's because you have experience as teachers, and of course we've had a terrible year or incredible year last year. We all were hit by the pandemic, and it was a big surprise for everybody, and we've all had to adjust and everything else. So and again, thank you for joining me. I was just checking that the first video that I launched was on April 13th of last year, and I go, my goodness, where did the time go? It's been a year already, and a lot of hard work and everything. Well, we can talk about that later, but anyway, what was the most difficult thing for you when it came to teaching and the pandemic, or what do you remember? Because it's about a little more than a year ago that this happened. Okay, what is the thing that made an impact on you? So go ahead.
Be more creative. In my case, I had to be more creative because I had to get to the students in a way to make them like be concentrated to the topic that I was going to teach, and in a way also to, let's say, find some other tools to get to the students. And obviously right now we have like tons of tools that we can use to get the approach to the kids, but that was the most difficult part at the beginning for me, to prepare the class, to plan the class in a way the students can understand what you're trying to do, and changing the typical teaching way, the typical way of teaching, like the board behind you and explaining, and here is the sheet of paper and the book and those things on, right? Now we have like, wow, a lot of things to do, and then we can have our own feedback after checking the videos. That's another thing also that, wow, it's incredible, because then you see yourself like doing silly things. And then you say like, I know why the students were laughing at. It's because you don't realize what you're saying or how you are moving. Even your gestures, sometimes right. It's like you don't see yourself doing that, but that was kind of hard.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Patrick. There. Okay, who'd like to go next?
I don't know. I think. Well, it's a virtual world. I don't know how many of us actually have been prepared, professionally speaking, to teach virtual classes, and that kind of came as a challenge. Yeah, on the one hand, and then as Patrick was saying, yeah, how do I make them stay focused on the topic? And then you realize that the topic is not the most important thing anymore. It's the human being behind the screen. Yeah. So that's another challenge that it, we had to face. I believe that that was the most difficult because, of course, if if you wake up in the morning and you have no, feel kind of lazy, so oh my God, another class, okay, but I have to do this. You have no choice, you have to. So does the student. So you have more tools than the students to handle difficult situations. Then if you put yourself in their shoes, then of course you realize there's work to be done. Every student comes with his own background, his her own background, story, life story there. The environment changes, so there's a lot there, of course, to study and or teach from home. It's not the same that you go to school, you detach from everything else, so everything comes together, So
Mhm.
it's a lot of science that I believe I had to learn.
Mhm. Right. Okay, definitely. Well, good. You're getting into the philosophy area too, right?
I'm trying to catch up.
There is a person there, right?
Yeah.
And it's always been true, right? That the students, I mean, there's a history there, there's a background, So yeah, very good. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, in my case, it was not easy. It was not easy. I remember like it was, I think it was on Tuesday, no, Wednesday or something like that. And suddenly they say, you know what, everything is closed. We have to go back to our places. And from now on, you have to start teaching from home. Hopefully it's going to be like a month. Then it turned into 2, 3, 4, and now it's more than a year. And it has been difficult. It has been challenging. It has been interesting. It has been rewarding this at the same time because you had a chance to go beyond the process of teaching or working or delivering some knowledge or helping students to develop their own learning. It's been a little bit closer to them, and developing different skills that you don't know that you had, and discovering something that you had in your deeper part of your heart in order to support others, because it's not easy for us. I think that it's no one that can say that it has been a very interesting and easy way of dealing with this, even worse for teenagers or children. So it has been interesting. And as Pato has mentioned, you have to start studying, researching, finding different ways of getting the students into the process of learning and making them realize that learning has to be fun. I mean, early on in class, you try to make it interesting, you try to make it fun, but right now he has more and more, it's needed in a better way or in a bigger way, the fact that they have to enjoy what you're doing with them. And yeah, well, it has been a process, and I think that going back to the normal will be another shock, will be another process. Yeah, and let's see what's coming.
Right. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm sorry, Choxito, go ahead. What's your take on this?
Well, I just wanted to add, I know what Jose was referring to. In looking back last year, I know it was around the time of St. Patrick's Day that we had, that everything started to change. And I remember, I had already started with online instruction, virtual instruction, thanks in part to Santi and other connections I have been able to make over time. And at that time, I remember the uncertainty of what was going to happen. There was, I mean, included with the uncertainty was the sense of fear that a lot of people had. And I remember that weekend leading up to the 17th, which is when we closed, everybody was like rushing to the store. I had to cancel some classes.
Like toilet paper?
They had to go get supplies. I had to get some. You didn't know what you needed: batteries, flashlights, water, toilet paper, all these things. So I think that you guys touched on it a little bit. Was like it's one thing to have a connection with students. To be able to build that connection through the digital world is an invaluable skill to be able to do that. Now I've been working mostly one-to-one, but I imagine you guys have classes, and I understand how difficult that is, with more than one student. So I have the utmost respect for any teacher that's doing that at this time, let alone a teacher that's instructing another language to people, because I know just sitting in a regular classroom, if it's not done right, I know how the mind can drift, and let alone on the computer when it's easy to just like zone out and check email or check Facebook or something like that. I know it's a part of life, but I think at the end of the day, what was the most interesting aspect of it was not just like having them understand the language, but also trying to make sense of what was happening together. And I was able to use a lot of news in my classes, and like understand the empathy of what people were experiencing, because I had students in different countries, Ecuador being one of them, and I know how difficult it was here, heartbreaking to hear the news coming out of Ecuador, especially like at that time, like Guayaquil was hit hard, and up here, New York City was hit hard, New Jersey was hit hard, and like it was just trying to stay focused and motivate people. There was nothing like that. Now we kind of have the sense that it will get better, but at that time we had no idea. The media was scaring everybody, and so at the end of the day, I think that it's one thing to be able to teach the language. It's another thing to keep them focused. It's another thing to keep them focused during a time of an international crisis like that, and to be able to make sense of it. Is like everything else. How can you get angry at somebody over a comma? You don't know what's going through their minds at this time. So, it's like doing it in a way that's reassuring, and which gives them a break from the problems of the world. I think one of the things that Jose was saying, what I loved about being a Fulbright, what Chuckadelphia was, it was intended to be an escape from the problems that people were facing every day. And so many of my students have told me that, and now it's like even more necessary during the time of the crisis. But what I realized was I needed it too. I needed it
Exactly.
to get away from it. Even if we talked about it, it was still a way of trying to make sense of it and to feel a little better about what was happening.
Right. Well, it's I don't know if that comment was aimed at me, that you were saying, I don't understand how somebody can get angry over a comma in a situation.
No.
like
It was actually a shot at myself, because some students would think, I know you're getting angry at a comment. Like I would grade hard on little
Exactly,
things,
yeah.
but like it just makes it just it really puts things into perspective. Not to overdo it, but find a way to. It's just like, what's the point? Just do it in a way that, we learn from it, we get better, not to overreact, because there are bigger things at play here that really put everything into perspective. And everybody's like, oh, it's always been that way. But, we all learned this year that it was a little, everybody learned to appreciate being with their family more, appreciate not overworking themselves as much, different things, so
Right.
that's all I was saying. If I take a shot at you, Santi, you'll know.
yeah, I know. Yeah, well,
And there is another thing that I would like to add to that, is the fact that, I don't know you guys, but since you're at home, you have to be with your family. I mean, in a way that you have to start understanding them more. You have to learning more from them, right? And it hasn't been easy. I mean, it's not easy. I mean, I'm not saying that you're not close to your family and so on, but one thing is like getting accustomed to be with them, like in the week, 4 or 5 hours. Now you have to be 24 hours. So it's different approach, and you have to deal with your house. You have to deal with your problems from the school, your problems from the society, the things that you have been watching on movie and in news every day. And apart from that, you have to keep on focusing on what you're doing and motivating people to move on, as you have mentioned. So it's complicated. It's very, very difficult. I don't know how you guys doing with that, but it's something that we have to keep on doing. We cannot just move on and just leave the things there. So we have to keep on moving and deal with things at home, deal with things in the society, deal with things in our places, job places, and continue with this. No?
Exactly.
Right.
You need to motivate people. I mean, I have to motivate myself, and then I have to show up in front of my students and motivate them as well. I have to, maybe learn the new, psychological tricks somehow.
Right.
And it's not easy, of course, because you're at the end of the day, we're all influencers. Have you thought of that?
Yeah,
we have
that's
to
right.
influence a lot, exactly, and it's not just
That's
one
right,
at a
that's right.
time. It's
Okay.
just 20 at a time or more. So it's been a challenge from them. Yeah.
Well, that's another shot at me. Thank you very much. Now you're making me feel better that I'm an influencer. As a teacher, at least.
No, everybody, let's talk about that shirt. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, well, something that came up, and it was also on the agenda here, and I don't know if you just noticed, but there were people walking in the background there. Now, this is
Yeah.
something that you've seen people, it has happened, right, accidentally, like people having a meeting or something. Have you had that? Well, Chuck, you are correct. In the case of Hartman, Jose Ignacio, and Patrick here, they work in a school, right? So they have a lot of students. And in our case, we work with one or two students only. But anyway, have you had any?
Yeah, I get it.
Setup, so tell us, can you share with us?
I get kind of like weird experience teaching because I don't know if, the parents are like not they are at home. The
Right.
kids' parents are at home, right? And they just feel natural there. They just feel comfortable. Jose knows. And I was teaching, and then one of my students' moms just probably was going to take a shower or just took a shower, and she was just with a towel and walking behind the kid, and all the kids were like, hey, what's wrong? And I was like very serious, like nothing happens, but I was like, wow, what is that?
Taking screenshots, by the way.
And then
then you had to
I have many screenshots about that, so I'm gonna make a collage. But anyway, that was kind of like embarrassing. I felt like, what do I do?
Santi, delete that section, please. Delete that section. That section, you cut it out, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to, definitely.
or you suddenly become an anatomy teacher.
I think in my case, this situation would be, because we are an IB school, so that would be an IB teacher. What would an IB teacher do? How open-minded would you be to deal with the situations that happen? For example, it's like here, my son comes, says, I'm concentrated, focused on what you guys saying, so I want to look smart, say something interesting after that. So, and he distracted. So what? It happens the same thing in class, because he in turn needs help. So he, of course, he comes when it's important and asks, interrupts. So I have to, at the beginning, as it was, oh my God, now what do I do? So then I realized this is what we have, and we have to deal with it. So Jen, I cannot get upset because he gets interrupted, and I have to, through my attitude and approach to the situation that happens, I can teach my students to know that that's, it's fine. So
Yeah.
it's about open-mindedness and dealing with the new situations. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what I noticed, Santi, in the bike was the thing that they just came without hand sanitizer, alcohol, and things. So they just went through.
Yeah.
So that's what I noticed.
Yeah.
So just to let you know.
And they walked away with a couple of TVs and some furniture.
What Hartman was saying, you see, here I am just concentrated, no, I can get another TV, don't worry about it. I don't want to interrupt you guys talking or anything.
This is important,
This is important, yeah.
One of the things that I've and it's funny, as you guys say, it's like a part of the everyday aspect of life and how it's come into the classroom. And as Santi can verify this, I have a couple of dogs here, and one of them loves to bark. For the most part, he's pretty good, but every now and then there's certain times of the day when he starts letting her rip. And whether he's in this office with me or outside, my students can hear it. But there are some times when my students, wherever they are in Spain or Ecuador or whatever, and they have dogs that start barking there. So then my dog hears it and he starts barking at their dog.
He starts answering. And
So
do they
it's like-
understand each other like English?
That's,
and
that's
Spanish?
it. They work in the same language.
Yeah.
Are they bilingual also?
The Spanish bark versus the English bark, you never know. So, but it's funny, sometimes my students hear like the trains that go by here, or it's cool. Or like sometimes I'll take down my digital screen and they can see the outdoors, like when it's snowing or something like that. It's
nice.
It's cool, So
Okay. Yeah, well, another one of the things that has happened. Well, unfortunately, to be honest with you, this is the first time that this has happened to me.
Yeah. Right.
In classes, I mean, in the YouTube things, no, but in classes, not, because I go into one of my kids' rooms, and I have my desk, my office there, so nobody can come in there. So I normally don't have this, but I have had that happen in the YouTube channel. And I remember, this is hard. Like especially in the beginning, I had to do like 20 takes of the videos and edit them. Oh my God. And the new script, and it's a little work, right? And I remember,
sorry.
oh yeah, and I remember once, I had done the video like 3 times. It was something like here, I was in the living room, and I finally finished the video, and my dog comes in. And he jumps on top of me. Fortunately I was closing, and I don't remember which video it was. And so anyway, so thank you very much. This is my dog, and thank you for joining me. And I look forward to seeing you next week. I'm trying to act as normal as possible, because I didn't want to do the video like the 25th time.
Yeah.
Hey, something question regarding to that. What is the feedback that you have from the viewers in terms of the information, the impact? What is the impact that you had on your people? So,
well, as you have probably seen, I don't have a lot of followers, but I have had people from different places. In fact, I asked you if you know Justin Trollinger, because I interviewed him a couple of months ago, and he's a teacher trainer, and he's part of a TESOL program and everything else. And he's apparently been all over the world. And I had somebody from, I think, Saudi Arabia or something send a comment. Oh my goodness, is that Justin Trollinger, the guy who taught us this and everything? So, and I've also had people from who are working like in Japan, one or a few people, when I talked about the culture, for example, and, they would mention, yeah, well, maybe the reason they do that is because of the culture in Japan. It's like this and so on. So. But yeah, I've had feedback, and I remember when I wanted to speak when I was going to speak about writing, I had a few people from also Saudi Arabia who were very interested in what we had to say about that. So yeah, it's been very, very interesting, an interesting challenge. And to be honest with you, when I started it, again, it was the pandemic. I had recently quit my job in 2019 December. I had quit my job because I had a lot of things to do the following year, training and working in companies and stuff. And suddenly the pandemic hit and everything closed. So all the companies said, okay, guess what? We don't have any money anymore, so we can't afford to do everything we were going to do. So, and I said, okay, I'm going to do this. As you know, I like to work with teachers and stuff. So I figured, okay, I'm not going anywhere. I might as well share. And that was the objective of the channel originally. To share what what
it was about what we talked before. It's telling people what to do. It's like that.
Or what not to do. And it's interesting what Patrick mentioned before, right? He mentioned that now you can actually watch yourself and see all the crazy things that you do. And that was one of my my training topics, observation, peer observation before. And a couple of weeks ago, I was actually talking about observation and self-observation. I said, now it's easier. You just record yourself and then watch yourself, and you say, oh my God, look what I did. Look what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Look at that shirt, and things like that. So anyway, and we've also had cases in which, people you know, like they don't realize, but they're wearing a nice tie and everything, and then they get up and they're wearing shorts
That's
underneath.
yeah.
I don't know if you guys have had that, but you know, I had people here tell me, you know, why are you all dressed up if you're on, you know, they're only going to look at the face. And you know, I always think, I don't know, I may have to get up for a reason, and then suddenly, you know, I'm going to be wearing shorts, so I have to be completely dressed, you know. But have you guys had that sort of desire of, you know, not, you know, just work with your pajamas and a nice shirt or something like that?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I think it does good. It does to your, you know, to your the way you feel
Mhm.
to not be in your jammies.
Exactly.
Exactly. So it kind of wakes you up. So okay, now I'm gonna start my day. Jammies don't say that. You know, say end it. So yeah.
Yeah. You know what happened to me in the when everything started? I was like, holy man, it's so nice being at home and wearing comfortable clothing and everything.
Mhm.
But this year, what happened was like I changed into the previous, you know, trying to put into my normal clothing outfit and everything, and getting into the mood, you know.
Mhm. Exactly.
It's like getting into the what you're doing. I mean, I'm not saying. I mean, I totally respect different point of view, but I'm not saying that you cannot do what you're doing normally with a comfortable clothing, but it's like getting into it. It's like putting your suit, putting your dress, and getting into that. So that's what I'm doing right now. I feel a little bit more comfortable
Mhm.
with the students, and the students they are more connected. I have felt like I've been doing this like a month and a half or something like that, and they are like, hey, the teacher is like a little bit different today, you know, and they have noticed that.
Mhm. It's kind of a sense of like a normal thing, you know, because we were hit suddenly, and then people just, you know, they just didn't know what to do, how to react, and everything. So this is kind of a normal, okay, the normal things we used to do, right? I'm
You know,
talking.
Yes.
Go ahead.
you know, it's another thing that's interesting is sometimes uh, maybe it hasn't happened to you guys yet, but sometimes my students have to put me on hold because something is happening on their end, right? So they might turn off their camera and their microphone, and you'll just think that, you know, like I'm just sitting there, and it's like, you know, I just imagine, you know, I forget that they're there,
Yeah.
you know. So they always say that like the way you are when you think nobody is watching is the way you really are. So there are times where like I might, you know, I might be like rubbing my face a little bit or whatever, and you know, you don't know, you never know, and or you like start singing or you start talking to yourself, and then suddenly, Chuck, you there? Ah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot you were there, right?
That's a finish, just to let you know.
Marco, right? English, yeah. Okay, let's go.
Maybe that's a wake up call in a way. You when you realize that this is how it should be, actually, to be yourself. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Don't try too much and be someone who you're actually not. Don't impress anyone, because
Yeah,
at the end of the day, look at where we ended up here, you know, and then
yeah,
you're trying to be as, let's say, as normal as possible, because then you have to influence and motivate other people in the same
yeah.
time. So, and it built better connections, as Jose Ignacio was saying. You know, it's built better connections between you and the students, because the students can see you, who you are. Maybe they ask you a question, maybe an uncomfortable question, because it's a serious question about life and everything that happens, and what do you think about it? And then changing from the pretend to be teacher there to you, then it's so I believe that I mean, the way you look, the way I mean, the clothes that we're wearing and everything else, I believe that became a little bit secondary for me, at least. And I take more serious the human side of the other side of the screen, you know, and my own at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, but remember also that not only the students are looking at you. I mean,
Of course.
parents are like now probably parents believe in what you do as a teacher.
They get to know
you
you.
have exactly, they have been looking, or they have been attending the classes with their kids. So
They're learning.
now is your prestige, that was an gamble, right? Now I think, well, I don't know you guys, but I have listened, the parents around there, like helping their kids, like do that, look what he's doing, look what he's saying. And
Some of them helping, some of them kicking.
yeah, and you know,
Uh-huh.
but parents are really picky, and they judge you a lot. So how you wear, how you talk, how everything, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, you know, that's also kind of challenging, because you have to, until the end, you have to be in the same way,
Mhm.
like being like you started, like teaching and making the kids work.
Mhm.
So the way you wear, also probably sometimes, like Jose says, right, parents, they say like, it's formal, or he's a little bit more relaxed. Yeah, it depends, you know, how parents are, different schools.
It's kind of, you have to teach them that it doesn't make a difference if I'm wearing a shirt or a t-shirt. Shouldn't make any difference, because what I'm
as a
saying, what
teacher,
I'm
you have your
teaching
prestige.
is, it has value. It doesn't have more value what I say if I wear a suit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I've always
Personal
thought that,
value.
you know, like Albert Einstein didn't put much stock into that. He always had the same outfit. He never cared about his hair, because he always said that there were other things that were more important that required our focus, you know. And I've always thought that was a pretty cool way, because like, yeah, you know, like, I mean, people say you gotta wear a suit or whatever, but you know, there are people in suits that destroy countries. There are people in suits that screw people out of money, you know. So yeah, you're right. It all depends on the character, the heart of the person that's carrying the message.
That's what makes the person. That's it. And this is what gets to the students. Yeah.
And also culture, you know, the culture,
Of course.
Ecuadorians.
That's the thing that I was telling you is more than what parents or what students can get out of that. It's you. I mean, I need to get into my let's say my role, right? And for that, I need to do it. You know, I feel a little bit more comfortable. Looks a little bit contradictory, right? It looks a little bit different, but I feel more comfortable the moment that I'm putting my normal clothing, like I used to do it in my normal place, right? In my job, like going to school. And of course, we have understood that what you have or what you don't have is secondary in terms of what we are living right now, right? So the most important thing is you as a human being, and how can you support others? And I'm not telling how to support in a teaching process or in a learning process, is how you can support two different people. So for example, it was, I mean, sorry for sharing today, but I had an interview this morning with a mom and another teacher, and she was in her place, in her job. She was working. She's a doctor, and she was a little bit worried because of the kid. He's not attending classes. He's not doing homework and normal stuff, right? But she's the one that is running her house. She's not all the time at home. She cannot be with the kid. And she was saying, you know, you're the ones that are supporting me in this process. So you as school, you teachers are the ones that are helping me to deal with all this stuff that I cannot deal alone. So more than what you were, more than what you teach, also is what you do with the students in order to keep them going. Because as I said before, so for us, it's very difficult. I mean, for me, dealing with these things is not easy, you know. But imagine a little kid that his world was going out, dealing with friends, partying, jumping, playing soccer, being with their friends at school, and maybe that was his escape early on. But right now, they had nothing. They are trapped. They had no one to talk with, and you are the one that should support. So it's very, very tough. Very tough.
Okay. Well, Jesus, yeah, you're right. It is hard, especially when you're working in a school and stuff. Fortunately, well, in the case of Chuck and I, we mostly work with adults and private classes and stuff, so it's a little bit different.
You're at the upper level. That's why. Don't worry.
I didn't mean to say that. The older maybe.
Yeah, but
The little
you
people
have
do the
vision.
job. Don't worry.
The little
Yeah.
people, yeah. Okay. Well, we've mentioned the word normal a couple of times.
Yeah.
Now, personally, I don't think we'll ever, I don't know if you want to call me pessimistic, but we'll never get back to what we knew was normal. But what do you think? What what do you, when you say normal, what do you think will there be a new normal or what? Harman is laughing there. So yeah, go ahead.
This is not, I mean, I hope I'm not going back, because I feel like I've grown. So there's a new me, and I'm proud of this new me. I've discovered, as you guys were saying before, I've discovered all these capacities and everything else that I've learned during this period. So I don't need to go back. Back would be a step back.
Right.
The vision would be like this. I mean, if you say normal is not what's normal for you, it's not normal for me, it's not normal for different cultures. We come from 3 different cultures here, so or even 4. But the thing is, it's not the normality. The what is that we were used to, that
right.
we were comfy. Yeah, maybe we were too comfortable. Maybe we needed a change. Well, in this case, it was not a choice. I don't see. Yeah, it was not a choice. It had to happen. So a week later, I was teaching virtual classes and then put things together differently. But all this year actually taught me many other new things. About me, about my students, about things, how things can be done better. So going back, I see it like this. I don't want to go back.
Step
I
back.
want to see what's coming next. Yeah. So I see how much I can give, because apparently I have resources. So that the vision. This is the vision that I chose to approach.
Cool. Perfect. All right. Thank you very much, Hartman. I don't know, Joe, would you like to?
Well, pretty tough. Going back to normal. Well, I have to be honest. I do miss the environment at school. I do miss being with students, hanging around with them, joking with them, being with my friends, sitting and chatting with this guy, with Pato, drinking a cup of coffee in the cafeteria. So I do miss those things,
Right.
But on the other hand, what just Harman just mentioned is like we have to learn out of this, because I was talking yesterday with someone and we were in our worst dreams. We were not thinking that something like this could happen to us. I mean, we might joke about different things. We might joke about the Walking Dead. I'm fan of the Walking Dead. But when everything started, I was talking to my wife. I was like, take a look at this. It's crazy. It's just crazy what we're living. I mean, what if something like that happened to us? Sounds a little bit crazy, but it's not that crazy right now.
Right.
And of course, we have to grow up. We have to learn. We have to try to move forward and try to be better human beings, not just better teachers. This comes as a secondary thing. So we have to start learning and to be more I don't know the exactly word, but we have to start thinking about others and not just thinking about us. And that's the biggest challenge that we have so far, I think, in my opinion, because
the Ecuadorian society.
Yeah, in general, in around the world, because if we don't think about others right now, all this pandemic is going to go and go and go, because what is the best thing that you can do right now? I mean, stay home. Try to lower the impact of this pandemic, and stop partying. I would love to have a barbecue with you guys and drinking a couple of beers. Well, Pato, a couple of milk shakes and everything.
Exactly.
But it's not possible now. So I have to stay home. And you have to start thinking about others, because if you just think about yourself, I was sending yesterday night a picture to Santi, and I was enjoying myself. I had a very good time, and I would love to do it face to face, but it's not possible, So
Right.
I think that that's the biggest challenge that we have to get out of this is like thinking about others, not just on us.
Right. I just like to add that you said it's not possible. Actually, it is possible, but it's irresponsible.
There you go.
So like you're saying, you're right. I don't, think about others too. Like, yeah, I want to do this. I want to, but I can't because you never know. I might be infected and then I'm infecting everybody else. So yeah, we need to protect ourselves. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. What about you, Patrick? What do you think the new normal is going to be like?
Oh my gosh, it's like I think like we're going to go back to the paper-based things,
Right?
activities,
So,
because
like
right now we are
Norman
like
said, back-
computer-based. Yeah, it's true. I don't
using
know.
technical
I
vocabulary here. Very good.
yeah,
Printing press.
Yeah, he just finished a training. That's why.
that's right. I'm trying to.
He's applying her.
No, I've been watching your videos, Santi, so that's why I'm
Thank you.
trying to use.
Thank you.
No,
You're the one.
Yeah, I'm the only one who has
The one
thumbs
with
up.
the-
Like,
Yeah, you're the one with the thumbs down there.
He's the student 1515. That's his nickname.
oh my God. Yeah, so I don't know. To be honest, I like to be here, teaching here at home. Yeah. But thinking about going back to school is like, I'm gonna be like, again, paper-based, like I said. And then I feel like I was thinking about it and I feel like I don't have a lot of tools to teach because right now I have everything on my computer. I
Right.
have all the tools, everything like, okay, I know if I want to show a video, I have the video and I put questions on the video, blah, blah, blah. So, but going to school is like, yeah, it's hard. It's going to be hard. And probably I'm not going to feel like that comfortable like I feel now. So I don't know. I don't know.
To readjust. I mean, what if that technology, everything that you've learned, you take back to class with you? That's the thing, So improving that what was before with the new things that you've learned.
Yeah, but sometimes in the school you don't have all the
Resources.
staff and the resources to take your computer and show, right? So
But what about the personal touch? I mean, the being in front of people, What about that? Have you ever thought about it?
yeah, well, I don't know. Probably this pandemic thing made me like more like my living my own. I like
Cole
sometimes.
Son is his name, Cole Son.
Yeah. I realized that I have, thanks God, I have everything here at home. What I like to do, my hobbies and everything, I can do it indoor. So, and I don't know, man. It's really hard to think about what's going to happen in the school later.
We need to take this kid out.
Yes,
Definitely.
you need to do that
Definitely.
barbecue there, Jose Ignacio. You need to make that barbecue as soon as
Yeah,
possible.
throw some meatballs in there with-
Yeah, it's 2 meters away. Chuckcito, I have somebody else who's going to join. You guys might know. I know that Chuck knows him, but I don't think you guys know him because I think he was before. Oh, maybe Hartman. We'll see. But anyway, Chuckcito, what do you think the new normal is going to be like?
Well, it's funny. I used an article from the Associated Press recently. It talks. It's titled "Dear Normal, were you really that great in the first place?"
Right.
And I think that's pretty interesting. And what the writer tries to say is that now we've learned so many different ways of living and different styles and techniques at work that maybe if we try to go back to the old normal, it's going to be more like going back to an ex-girlfriend that broke your heart.
Yeah.
And she finished, she has this great quote from Maya Angelou, and I wanted to bring it up. It says, if you are always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be.
Yeah.
And I think that, and I think you guys mentioned it because not every school has access to some of the things we can do online right now. I know that, like students at Fulbright used to complain about not having access to some of the stuff online, in the classroom. So I know when it's time for them to go back to the building, they're not going to have access to this, at least in the near future, unless they make, changes, So Like it's gonna be hard, but at the end of the day, what is normal? Normal is different for each and every one of us.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
and I think that no matter what it is that we go back to, we have to uh, make the best out of what we have in front of us, and just no make lemonade, right? And just
Yeah.
be as
Even
creative
without
as we
lemons.
can. Yeah,
Tequila.
exactly,
Tequila is, oh
exactly.
my.
You know, so we take our skills now and we do our best with what we got to do in the classroom if we go back. You know.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, what you mentioned, and when it comes to teaching, you see, it's anywhere we go back, like Patrick said, right? Or if you, or maybe in the same, I don't know, Hartman works in a different school, so they may have more resources, but normally in schools, they don't have the resources that we are using, right? So welcome, Kathy and Stu. Thank you very much for joining us. We are talking about the pandemic and the future. So and this is we're celebrating the anniversary of the channel. So, well,
Right.
a little introduction, please. Let's see. Let's start with ladies first. I hope nobody gets offended because everybody gets offended nowadays for everything. But go ahead, Katya.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, Santi. Yeah, I've been watching those interesting videos for like quite some time now. Actually, I didn't know it's been a year.
So it's
But-
two people now. Yeah. Well, to be honest, I didn't realize it either when I started checking and I go, oh my goodness, it's already, wow, how time has flown, right? It's been a year. So that's why I decided to have a little get together online, because we were talking a little while ago with Jose Ignacio. He said, I want to have a barbecue and everybody here. But unfortunately, we can't do that right now.
Yeah.
So.
So instead, Santi is sending pizza to everybody's houses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh, thank you.
Enjoy, everybody.
Okay. It was about time.
Yeah, it was supposed to be here 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly. 30 minutes ago. So anyway, well, go ahead. What do you think about this pandemic thing? Let's see. Kathy, can you give us some, how do you feel about the problems with the pandemic and everything else?
I think that this time is very, very difficult for all. I am very, very sad for the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
especially because my parents was COVID.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's very difficult with the medicine, with food. Or no, in Ecuador, I think that it's very difficult for the money because we don't have the medic that I don't know that that they have a hard, I don't know. It's very, 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 very difficult and very sad in around in the world, I think.
Well, that's very true. I think we all have we've known somebody who has been infected, and some people have unfortunately had worse fate, but it is very hard, definitely. And we've all learned, we've been talking about that, we've all learned from this to be different people and so on. But thank you. What about you, Stu? What do you think is going to happen in the future? Do you think we'll ever get back to
Or to the old normal or some of
to the
that?
normal? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've been thinking about it for more than once, right? And part of me says, yeah, I miss, as a teacher, I miss the board. I miss the board in my market and like go and like walk into the room and like this is my show, right? And I miss that a lot. But on the other hand, like, and I think Chuck said a little bit of that. Like there are things that we can do now online, and I don't think we'll be able to do that like if we were back in person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't know. I'm kind of like 50-50. If I had the chance to go back, because we've talked about that at the commission. And if I had the chance to go back in person, I'll probably do both. Something like a hybrid thing, like maybe go in the morning, teach for a couple of hours and whatnot, and then in the afternoon, like come back and teach online or something like that. I don't know. But all I know is that this pandemic's brought, it's brought a lot of new things, but also it's pulled out this thing that we didn't know we had inside of us, and now it's out in the light, and we can see it, and with that, with no doubt, I think we are better human beings now, for sure.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. Thank you very much, Stuart. Okay. Let me just share a very quick, fast video here because I know Chuckcito and well, we're almost done. And just a little part here, a classic.
All right. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Okay. That's, I wanted to share that with you guys because as I mentioned, this is the anniversary of the channel. So I want to thank you guys very much for joining.
Cheers.
I know, Chuck, you're going to leave right now. So any last words, Mr. Chuckcito? Good luck in your class before you.
It's great to see everybody. One other thing that I think is that we have to consider is from the students' perspective. They've become accustomed to not having to deal with traffic and waking up extra early and going out and dealing with the rigors of traveling. So on one hand, it's become different for us, but it's probably become better for them too, as far as like comfort. But as we know, just because you're comfortable doesn't mean you're actually learning, so
Right.
so that's the thing. But it's great to see all you guys. May the force be with you. Carpe diem, and see you around in the funny pages, okay?
Cheers, Chuckcito. Nice to see you.
Take it easy, Chucky.
Nice to see you.
Take care.
See
Take
ya.
care, please.
Catch
Bye.
up.
Okay, so we got one less there. So anyway, once again, I'd like to thank you guys very much for having joined me in this short celebration about the anniversary of the channel. And it's been good to see you guys, at least here on online. And I do miss also that. I do hope that sooner or later, thank you, Harmon, we'll be able to get together and even if it's a little distancing, but and at least talk. But when it comes to teaching, personally, I think I am used to it the way it is now. I think I'm comfortable from home. I don't know if you can see, but in the background, I mean, there's nothing around here. I mean, I can go out. During the pandemic, I would go out, so I mean, I could go out. There was nobody around here. I live in a kind of far area. So for me, it was great, and I don't have any problem continuing with it, but I do miss, being with friends and stuff like that. So
we can do that at your home, it's
exactly. Yeah.
nobody there.
You guys are welcome, like I'll be here, you guys there, and yeah, sure, no problem. It'll be a great idea. Sure, no problem. You guys are welcome anytime. So anyway, thank you very much for having joined me and sharing your thoughts. And well, I do look forward to getting in touch with you guys soon and getting to talk about plans and the good old days and everything else. So thank you very much. The best
Happy
of luck to you guys. Thank you very much.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Congratulations and keep
Happy
on going
anniversary.
with that
Happy
idea.
anniversary. Happy
Keep going with that.
anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Thank you very much, everybody, and good luck. Okay, nice talking to you. Take
Take care
care.
of yourself.
See you
Bye-bye.
guys.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Catita.
Bye, guys.
Nice to see you. Take care.
Nice to see you. Bye-bye.